Hi, this is Professor Levine. I'm the librarian attached to your course for this semester. And what I'd like to do right now is to respond to some questions that have come up in the last couple of days related to your research project. At the moment, I've been asked about how you go into a database, you find an article, you find it in a PDF format, and you want to be able to download that PDF. Or maybe it's actually not a PDF and you still want to be able to download it. So I'm going to try and show you how that works. So I'm going to share my screen and I hope you can follow along and we'll get started. All right, so here's the list of databases as organized by subject. So I'm going to choose one of the databases that's recommended for this project. This one is called Social Sciences Full Text. It comes to us from a company called EBSCOhost. This is not the only database we get from EBSCOhost. So you may or may not find this specific database useful, but all of the databases that we subscribe to from EBSCOhost have the same look and feel, the same banner, the same search screen, and so forth. So by showing you how to do the PDF piece in this database, hopefully you'll be able to translate that to whichever of the other EBSCOhost databases you're using. So I'm just going to do a sample search. And I'm going to focus for a second over on the navigation pane or toolbar on the left that says Refine Results. I am going to go through the steps just quickly to, number one, limit my results to full text, meaning that the articles will be available in their entirety right now. I am going to limit my results to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. You can, I'm not going to for the moment, but you can limit your articles to PDF full text. In many cases, I'm going to change the dates to be essentially compliant with the requirements of your project. And I am going to choose academic journals here. If there are any of the features, any of the refining or limiting options that I've addressed here, or any others that you'd like to know more about, you can email me, we can be in touch, and I can go through that with you. So on this screen, as it turns out, first of all, you'll notice that I have academic journal articles. You see the icon or the labeling here, which is useful to double check that that's actually in place. We have all the information about the article, including we have a direct link to the PDF full text. I'm not going to use it here right now. In fact, I'm going to choose this article, which has the full text in both HTML and PDF for just for demonstration purposes. So there are a couple of things on this screen that I want to point out to you. First of all, over on the right-hand side, there is a toolbar or a navigation pane labeled Tools, and there are many tools here. Most of these tools are available in all the databases. They are not necessarily labeled the same way in the same location, but they are present. So understand that they're present and that you can, do a little survey of the screen and find them and hopefully make good use of them. So we do have a print button here. We do have a save an email button. We also have cite and so forth, but there is a print button here. This is relevant for an important reason, and I will point that out. That's why I started on this screen. Over on the left-hand side, you have a pane, a navigation toolbar pane, which is where you links to the full text in whatever form it is. So actually, this is available right here in the HTML, right? So if I wanted to print that version of it, but I needed it in a PDF, I can click on that print button over here. I can make all my appropriate choices here. I should now get the print script or wizard on my own computing device. I happen to be on a laptop device on a desktop right now. And here, if I want a PDF of this, I go up to this section, which on my computer is labeled Destination. It might also be labeled Printers. It might on your device, it might have a different label, but there will be a spot where I can choose either the desktop printer that I happen to have, or if I would like this in a PDF format, I can save it as a PDF. You'll notice the preview will change. And now when I print it, it actually isn't going to print. It's actually going to download a copy of the article as a PDF. And once you just can look in your Finder or your document files and find that document. I would do it right away because it doesn't always come with the title of the article. So you want to maybe change the name of the article right then and there. And then you can upload that to your Blackboard account. So that's one way to do a PDF. Now, let's look at the PDF version itself. I'm going to open up the PDF version, and what you'll notice is that it's not just on the internet or HTML frame. Because it's a PDF, it opened up in a PDF reader frame. And at that point, we are no longer going to be using the tools that are on the right-hand pane here that are built into the database itself. We're going to be using the print and download buttons that are part of this new PDF frame or window. And so again, I can click on the little icon, but it's not the icon on the right-hand side. It's the icon within the PDF frame. And you'll see that I get the same script. So I can actually, if I want an actual print version, I can print it to a printer. If I want a PDF version, I can print it as a PDF. I can also simply download it as a PDF, okay, by using the download button. All right, so that is how it's done in the EBSCO databases, in the EBSCO host databases. Let's try a different database, and I'm just going to choose this one because I know it's from the company I want to demonstrate. This is a database from the ProQuest company. And again, we have many databases from ProQuest. So if you're looking for an article from ProQuest and you need to deal with you need a PDF version, we can do a quick search. Again, remember that all the major databases have the same set of tools. They might not be in the same place. They might be located in a slightly different part of the screen, but they are all present. So for instance, even here, I can change the dates to what I want. I can choose, I've already chosen full text and peer reviewed. I can choose scholarly journals, all right? So I have all those tools here. In the ProQuest databases, the tools are always at the top of the screen on the far right. So here's the site button, here's an email button, here's a download button, and there will be additional buttons once I get into a specific article. So again, I could directly access the PDF version of this second article here. But let me just click on the title and we will, excuse me, take a look at that. So you have all of the tools up at the top right-hand corner of the article. You can download the PDF, cite it, email it, print it, and there are other options. If this is the HTML version of, the article. If you want the PDF, I would simply do essentially what we did in the other database, download the PDF or click print, and then that will lead you to a print script on your computer and you can print it as a PDF. You can also access the PDF right here. Again, it opened up in a PDF reader frame. So instead of using, if I want to print or download it, instead of using the database tools at the top right, I'm going to use the tools in the top right of the PDF frame, reader frame of this article. And so I'm going to click where it says print, I have, again, because I'm now using a tool from my computer, I have the option to print to my desktop or as a PDF. And same thing for download. And finally, the third database company that I want to demonstrate for you is Gale. And you'll see that this has a look that you'll notice across all the Gale databases. It says Gale up at the top. And most of the databases start out with the word Gale. So I'm going to, again, do that same simple search. I will find some articles. I'm going to make sure it tells us our source types right at the top. I'm going to make sure I'm using academic journals. There are other things I can do here. I can, for instance, I can make sure I'm getting peer-reviewed journal articles and my results just updated, and that's really good. There are other things you can do here. You have other choices of how to narrow these results down, but let's take a look at this article. All right, and there are tools up at the top: print, download, cite, send to via email or some other share. And here's a download and a print version here. This is not actually in a PDF version itself, but that's nothing, that doesn't stop me from getting a PDF version, because I can click on the print button. I can choose my the option on my computer print screen to save it as a PDF. I now have a PDF version. I can save it and then I can upload it if I need to in my Blackboard. So I hope that's answered some questions and given you some framework for how to navigate that aspect of complying with the requirements of your assignment, and just learning to move around the database tools. If you have any further questions about something that I've said in this little recording or anything else, please feel free to get in touch with me, and good luck with your projects.